Hello everybody, सबको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Association to this intermediate training session. So I will continue with the discussion of King's Indian Defense, model games and introduction. If time permits, I will go to another variation also. I don't think I will be able to complete King's Indian today. Let's see. So hello Ramakrishna, then Meet Mehta, Suresh Bhai Chawda, Basal Parikh, Kaushik Thakkar, Devers, Mr. Paresh Kumar, Kiara Mehta, all are welcome. First, let me go to a game of our Indian young Grandmaster Adivan Bhaskaran. So it is a semis variation, and there are many ways I have already told you, but Adivan chooses an interesting idea which Sasikiran also applied against the Atanulairi. The main idea is to provoke. This is bad move. I told you that diagonal will open up. It is not a good move because after this knight is there on e5 and you cannot dislodge it. Knight g4 will come. And eventually he will open up the game but pawn into pawn. So here, good move. And now, idea that when white castles, he will open up the king side. An interesting move. The perfect timing. For example, at this moment, suppose you play knight coming there, it is not a great move. He can play a move like queen to a4. He can play knight f4, knight g3. But now this is perfect timing. The queen cannot support, and he is preparing to now open up the queen side. You can't play b4. Making c4 pawn a target. This is after all knight e5 will come, b5 will come. He wants to open up queen side counterplay. Note that this game I am showing because Adiban is a very combinative type and very sharp style player. He is offering a pawn for activating his pieces. Now you can see the d pawn will fall. You can easily see the pawn takes pawn, and now when you capture the d pawn is falling. But black gets very active play. Pawn takes check. So white is a pawn up, but black, how many pieces have become active? Please note. Now he has got this is active, 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 active. Even this is doing job. Even this is doing a job. In the process, black has weakened the d5 square, but the bishop cannot reach, and apparently, even if you reach knight c4, knight d5, there is no threat. At the moment the c4 is attacked, so black gets time to bring more pressure. You have to defend c4. Now if you play b3, now if you will play b3, you can see that rook into pawn is also possible. It is possible. So one has to take account all these things. So in the game, he plays attacking the queen. No time for rook into pawn. Okay. Now nd5. Rook into pawn will be not correct. I will tell you now at the moment the knight is under attack. At the moment knight is under attack. So knight into pawn. Black is better now. You can compare the pieces. Chess strategy is based on the 5 important aspects: king position, central control, pawn structure, open line, and activity of pieces. Here, the king position, black is superior. The pieces are very active. You can see blacks, five pieces are active. Other than the rook at 8, all pieces are active. These are active, all active. Passive pieces. The king in center. So for one pawn, you have got lot of activity. There is pressure on B2 pawn. Want to eliminate the knight and play R8. Direct threat. Bishop takes D5 and rook E8. Hello ANV. Okay, Paris Kumar. That's great. That's great. Excellent. Nasdorf is a very difficult opening. Sicilian Nasdorf. This is a theory is very vast. I discussed all the Sicilian other than Nasdorf because Nasdorf needs a special treatment. There is two lines which is English attack and the old main line Bishop G5, and there are some other lines. So I will discuss Nasdorf. So I have kept it on the I have withheld the discussion. I need to look at certain modern lines until and unless I know the modern trend, I cannot discuss on the old knowledge. So I will have to look at the modern games. Then I will discuss Nasdaq. That is what today I am showing how to play against Sami Satan. Hello, Kisan Kolia. Now, black has got sufficient compensation for the pawn. Okay, let us see how Adivan concluded. Knight into c4 will lose material, so only move. Just d5, open the e5. I think the position is disaster. You see, the center, the activity, double bishop, the king position, everything counts. If you castle, pawn takes pawn is just overwhelming. So, rook coming, again pawn takes pawn overwhelming. Now he winds up finishing the game in style. You cannot, queen is overloaded. Queen is overloaded. Oh, extra piece should win easily. Black has an extra piece, it is no problem. And I don't want to block the bishop's path. This is good. So extra piece and he will wind up easily. So this activity of pieces. But I will tell you everybody should not play until and unless a move like e6, a move like e6. Yeah, it is very important to calculate. You must be convinced that you have got sufficient compensation for the piece activity. Otherwise, you will end up a pawn down. So after take, this is a good move. Take, this is a good move. Nice position. I want to show a game of Simon Augustine. He was the coach of Magnus Carlsen in his early career. One peculiarity of Augustine, he is a chess grandmaster. That time he was the only chess grandmaster of Norway, only grandmaster from Norway at that time. And he was also a good football player, soccer player. He represented Norway both in chess and soccer. A wonderful combination. I like that because I was very fond of football. So Augustine was really good in both ways, football and chess. Very sharp style player. So he wants to invite to the main line. Now, this is a Pano variation. For some time in 1960s, in late 1960s, it was considered the best thing against King's Indian. And later on, they say that this is the better one, knight d3, and more positional and more scientific. But nd2 is Oscar Pano variation. The idea is a quick inside opening. No need to waste time with bishop. For example, suppose you go knight to e1, course knight. This is main line course knight. Black will also play knight d7. Now you play bishop e3, play f5. Then you have to support f4. Now already 12 moves over and white has not started. And now knight d3. So, and now next plan, he wants to play rook c1, he wants to play nb5, he wants to play some c5, all these things will come. But it is taking about by move 18, 19, white will create some threats. Of course, white black will have play also. He can play rook f6, he can play knight f6, and there is some attacking for king side for black and white has queen side. But this system, instead of 13th move, say where you will have 13th move, you will have faster. This is actually, I will tell you, very slow, very slow. First of all, I do not like this. I do not like. Modern theory, I mean, some grandmasters play here c5 directly. Sir played it. Idea, the whole concept of inside initiative is gone. Now, rook b1, the idea a3, b4. So, in the meanwhile, you can prepare to go for the king side. Like that, maybe knight e1, and then b4. Maybe you can play b6. So, this is how it will continue. Now, I will play f5, knight f6. See, c5 is an interesting. And here, after nd2, okay, this is not so good. The idea, if you play a3, preparing b4, black will fix. Now it's a backward pawn, and you cannot have the break. I will make n%. The queen side is settled, so black can concentrate on the king side very happily. That is why a3 is not a good move. So you have to be slow, b3, and then next move a3, and then next move b4. This is how it will come. Now white black started counteraction. Now if you play a3, this is the correct way. If you play a3, I am going to take it. Now you need to take with this. And then maybe I will play rook c8. So black will generate play. But anyhow, white should play in this manner only. White should continue this way only. Whatever he has done. But he played a bad move. Bishop a3. Now the bishop moves west. He has to retreat and he has to make a3. They become very slow. White has become very slow on the queen side. And even if you manage to get b4, I have b6. So this is a good move now. Black is better now. A file is open. Now I could have played here even b6. But this is good. Gaining time. Basically gaining time. You have to play nb5. Take indirectly. This is one factor you have to notice. The king is exposed in the diagonal. So the pawn is indirectly dependent. The queen is defending the pawn indirectly. That means now you only compare. You only compare whose pieces are better. Hello Sritu Nandi. Okay. Kishan Kholia. I will tell you the best chess routine. Let me finish this game. Now, white, black pieces are all fantastic. All pieces, including the A8 rook, are active. So, he is giving a threat on the pawn now. The position is bad, very bad. Now, the F4 square also available, and all dark squares are bad on the king side. Dark squares, the bishop is playing a role, no role. So, fantastic position. Settled. Now he is going to operate on the dark square and very easily. Now this point, king is already in trouble. This is self goal actually. I don't see. You cannot criticize that the position is bad. Whatever you do is bad. So he comes. And now next move h5. Finish. It is practically all over. Now I will tell you that there are opening mistakes, and with this evolution, gradually players know that we should avoid this kind of mistake. So they try to improvise on the theory. Let me show you, for example, I will show you a game, just an improvement. I have files. A variation of Benko Gambit. So this is Benko Gambit. Now all this is very normal. I want to now open up the long diagonal. Now knight f3, rook b1. This is timing. Why this is important? If you castle right away, this position white is better. Suppose you castle right away. Normal mechanical move. Then black gets a very good counterplay. I discussed in Benko Gambit, knight b6. The pawn is main attack is bishop coming here. Now I want to threaten bishop here, and then the pawn is in danger. You can't play b3 because rook a1. In this variation, the bishop is watching. So knight into pawn will come. Double attack. So you can't play. And now rook b1 is too late. Rook b1 is too late because tempo. This is 3 attack and a2 attack. So it is important that at the moment we should not castle rook b1. If you castle knight b3, knight b6 tempo, that means this is a substantial improvement. And giving a hard time to the Benko players because now I will defend the pawn. अभी extra pawn तो बच जाएगा b3 a4. Now the rook is no more in danger. I have gone away from the bishop's diagonal. So the rook is now safe. And now I will play b3 a4. I will come. So the position is no problem. So this is the counter play. This is the counter action. And maybe black should do this before castling. Before castling directly. So this is an improvement. Basically, Magnus Carlsen is back. Magnus Carlsen played Queen f5. I think that is one move before. So this is good answer. Now even if you come with knight d2, knight b6, so here, suppose you come, still no threat. There is no threat because on knight into d5 I will have a tempo. No threat. Next move b3, a3, a4, all this will come. So this is no problem. Defended. The pawn, extra pawn is defended. So this rook b1 is an improvement, substantial improvement in many lines later on. They found out the perfect move order, rb1, before castling. I would give this move an exclamation mark, X. Now I find, see there's so many good games I have selected, and in every game that white gets a good game. Kramnik Topalo, Kramnik Van Veli. Now on castle, plus So straight one extra pawn. But let me tell you, it is not all over. RB1 is a good move, but correct way to play is to play queen a5. This is how. And now BD2, you may do some counterattacks and rook castle will come. This is how it continues. Attack, counter attack, novelty for both sides. Hello, Birabhadra Singh and Akshar Jala. Let me return to King's India. So let me discuss that Larson variation. E5. Now castle, knight c6 is normal. Castle and nc6 is the main line. Now e5, knight there. This is the main position. But other than that, white can also play a move like be3. Override bd7 here. be3. A Larson system. Now the more careful players, they will now bishop have to retreat. This is the best way. This is not good. And this you are interfering with the d pawn. If you play bd2, you are interfering with the d4 point. So bishop c1 is the correct move nowadays. Okay, but what happens if you play bishop here? This is not great. Why? Because g5 and suddenly the bishop is poorly placed. One piece is badly placed, the game is bad. Tara's formula. Now black has a plan. Black has a plan. He can push h5, h4. He can go back also. So this is also knight. Now he can plan to bring the knight coming to this point and start action. So black has counterplay. And what the knight and bishop doing here? So this is good to ensure a square for the c5 for the knight. So what happens is the position white is unable to open the queen side and the bishop on g3 is poorly placed. But how to plan? This is nicely shown by the player black grandmaster. Master, I am master. Black stands better. Next, he will prepare the knight to coming here and then start action. Idea, knight f4, idea, knight into bishop. This is minus plus. Whatever happened, now later this is okay. I'll go little further. Now black square problems. Next, he will bring bishop h6, double the rooks on this f line. Better. Yuri Aryapetian, a young grandmaster from Ukraine. All this is normal. Black is trying to open up when white try to castle. Now this is at white is at a crossroad. For example, let me show you. Now there is another plan white can do. He can play g4. Why g4? Because when you play h4, h5 is coming. When you play h4, black can play h5. So g4. Suppose g4. Now he will play maybe e5. You attack comes here. Now you play in g3. Why NG3? Because now H4, H5 is a real threat. And black cannot do this now. I will take and open the G5. Black cannot play H5. Now, in this position, he will play knight coming here. Not interfering with the knight. Now, if you play H4, he will play F5. Even if presuming you have bishop there and queen C2, anything, he will just open up. Black will just open whether pawn is supported or not, because that is the only counter play. That is the only counter action black has got. That is why. So you have to see, this is one way you can slow down. 1, 2, 3 are watching, and if necessary, this will come. But anyway, black will play. Black will slow down. But the other plan is to bring the knight to C1. No, not this. NC1. What is the idea of NC1? The idea that when I push the pawn, now if I knight enters, this is what I will exchange the important knight of black from center. Definitely, this is bad tactically. It is bad. Take and knight into e4. You can't really win a pawn, and giving important bishop. So this is the idea. You have to exchange it. There is no choice. C5 I will unpass and open. So take. Now this position is black is comfortable. There are two reasons. One, white cannot castle anymore on queen side. It's a bad structure and bad structure. So white king cannot castle, and also he has wasted 2-3 moves with the knight. And black's attack will go through. Okay, you can do en passant, but that will be only opening line for his pieces. The B file, his B is 6 and D5. For example, supposing, let us say, imagine this position is white to play. White still cannot play G4. Black will play knight F4 and give the pawn for opening the diagonal and two bishops. Maybe I will show you the game of between Gata, Kamaski and Kasparov. Not exact same position, but a pawn sack. Suppose G4, white to play G4, knight F4 is a good move. Okay, now in this position he comes F5. Black is already better because white has got already some weaknesses on the castle position. He is going to castle there. It is bad. Now you have to exchange that bishop. Okay, this is not going to work. So only move. The threat, the idea, what he is preparing, that in the event you play this, you have to watch out this. So dependent. Now the idea that if you play e4 break, he is planning take and tempo and blocking. The position is tenable. White can hang on. Now the idea, you play e4. Now I take, and when you take the pawn, white's idea is to get a tempo and block. Knight blockade. Very difficult for it will be very difficult for uh, black to make any headway if it is blocked. He has no black square bishop, but there is an intermediary pawn into knight attack. Now you have to think, if you play mechanical queen move, he will block. Very difficult. Once the knight comes here, I don't see any advantage with black. That is why when it is timing, you do not move the queen. This is the only move for initiative. Or for example, now you show me a plan. It is not easy. You cannot come on this knight now. You don't have pawn break, no black square bishop. It is sitting pretty. Now queen will come, KD2 will come. It is nothing. That is why it is timing. It is important. You need to get a feel for position. So E3, good or bad, you have to play E3. Queen takes E3 is bad. Now queen takes E3, you can play queen into B2 and it is fantastic. So he goes for queen exchange. Queen takes pawn also bad. Or knight into pawn also is bad. If you play knight into pawn, then queen check and rook e8. Queen check, rook a e8 will terrible. So he goes queen exchange. No problem. Position is minus plus. Now, I mean, there are a lot of pawn weakness and no coordination. Next rook will come. Next I will attack. Next I will attack this point rook. So weakness. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Winning. You cannot take that rook over. Position is lost, complete lost. Whether you exchange bishop, whether you exchange rook, lost. It will lead to mating attack. Next move, rook will come with a threat. So actually, what happens is the timing. If black white did not see this move e3, everything will be different. He played well, but if you do not find this move, the whole position will change. Okay, I will tell you another. I have to tell you that Gata Kamsky Kasparov because I may forget. Hello, Mukund Agarwal, Parvat Thakkar. I have to do the setting. I forgot to make the setting the camera, make it small so that you can see the notation also. Okay, tomorrow I will do it. So here, Gata, why Gary Kasparov is black? Gary Bhai, Gary Bhai is black. Yeah, this is the one. Note this. Yeah, this is the game. Now knight h5, a6. Idea f5, f4. Idea I want to open up. So this is a bad move. Next move, black is preparing to play f5 with an excellent position. Now this is bad. You don't have to go mechanically. You go back, then black will be very passive. After you go, I showed the knight will come here, the next knight will come and h4, h5 with a standard attack. Passive position for black. So the correct move is not after the move, not retreat, knight f4. Now if you take it, now I have got good compensation. Take now f5. I will not care whether you are having how many support. Just open. Just open the position. So this is good position. Now pawn into, and rook check will come. So there is counterplay. So this is important. And here two bishops also. Two bishops, the king in center, underdeveloped pieces. Here this is rook against queen, the fire. So all these things he cannot get help. You need to open the position fearlessly. Don't count that material factor. So this is bad to give the bishop. Then you retreat. I am still inviting him. Take my knight. Still, welcome to take the knight. Counterplay is there. Now, if you knight f4, he accepted. Now, counterplay. You cannot give bishop takes total dark square on the board. Whole black squares are gone. Apart from double bishop, there is a bad. Now, if you take, no, he has castle. Suppose you take this. This is bad. Bad move. Now, next queen is coming. Now, this is bad. Whatever you do, castle is bad. If you castle, bishop a6. Now you come somewhere. Then queen comes here. It is a bad position. It's a bad position. I will play queen. Then I will play maybe I should not allow this knight first. Maybe what I can do here, maybe just a rook here first. Uh, maybe what I can do, how I can handle this. Just a minute, because I don't like the knight coming into the game. The knight will come, knight will come. So let's see. Maybe here. It's possible I can play this also. This move is also possible. Why I thought of a different plan, but why I want to next play king g7 and start h5. My plan, the reason you see now, whole point is now I want to, but this is just a general move. I don't have a plan immediately. And if I play, he may open up the game at some point. So he want to play bb3 and e5, bb3 and e5. So I decided I want to stop this move. The knight is not coming in the game. So stop this. Planning to play king here and then h5, rook here with attack. With attack. This is good. So this is here he did not do that. He did not do it. After the move bishop here, he comes knight c4. I think enough counterplay. The position is now terrible. Not allowing the knight. Problem. Now idea he wants to play the move queen coming here and rook into b6 and a4 is coming. I think the position already volatile and this is already problem. White has lot of problem to solve. Idea simply queen to b8 or queen d8. And next move I am coming queen b8. This is coming. This is coming. Lot of problem already. Finish. I think it's finished. Three attacks and it is color complex. The position is advantage of color complex. Rook a8 is coming now. So the whole concept of you have to keep this is a very important theme in the King's Indian. When you play g4, you can dump the knight here. This is a good move. Okay, but it is not so in another case. For example, in another variation, for example, I will show you. You should not generalize this. For example, d4, knight f6, c4, d6, c3, bg7, e4, d6. Now s3 castle. Now bg5. Now in this variation, sometime you get a similar thing. It will not work. For example, let us say here you play. Think maybe queen e8. Okay, queen d2. Now e5. E5. Now maybe you can play here. Comes trying to recollect again. Knight h5, suppose. Now I will play g4. Here, the same thing will not work. I will take. This is okay. The development factor. I mean, this position that the black is insufficiently developed. So I don't think it's correct to give a pawn here. Not correct. So the same thing with knight f4 you are giving, but here you are not developed, and this point he can defend with easily. So I would not recommend you to give the pawn like this. Just a variation. Welcome Adi Jain and Tanmay Azmera. So this is actually an independent system. Many times you find this is the main line E5 and NC6. E5 castle NC6, but it's an independent line. The point is this is bit passive, but less theory. And number two, it avoids the queen exchange variation of King's Indian, so that the queens are not exchanged. It is interesting, not outwitted or refuted. The other line is to play rook e1, queen c2. You can play wait. This is one of the line, and this is also a line. You can wait. So it takes push. This is very easy. I want to ensure the knight will come without having any pressure. Now ng4. Leave the square. The g4 knight is attacked. You are welcome. Now a situation. Suppose you take. I am going to take this. Now knight has to move. And now this is a good position for black. Black has superior bishop, blockade knight, and eventually f5 will come. So this is an excellent position. No queen side break. So this position, black will happy to take double pawn and blockade knight and action on king side. That is why you need not worry about that. Knight coming, perfect timing. So he plays rook c1. Now white achieved nothing. White achieved nothing now. So he retreats. Black is better. Anytime if you play bishop into I will play pawn, double bishop will be there and b5 will be there. I will have b5. All black pieces will come one by one. Now don't need to push this pawn. These are mechanical moves. If it was queen's exchange, pieces gone, end game, I will play. If it is an end game, this is an asset. But this will give a square, and I mean the activity of black will be slow. So he plays queen, keeping the pawn tension. Development complete. Action will start. Next plan, I want to bring the rook. Maybe next plan, I want to bring the rook here and put pressure. And if possible, I will regroup my pieces to the center. Already black center is very good. Next king will come, rook will come on the G line. So these are various plans. So he took it. It is not a good move. The pressure. Now it is just you will say why he is doing this when there is already support. He is giving a threat here. One. And if you consider the bishop, then it is more bad because pawn will come with bigger effect. Now, but how are you going to stop this move? Knight e3. Now bishop f5 will enter. Knight e3. Close. Now this is under attack. So bishop is correct move. Supporting the pawn indirectly, supporting this point indirectly, the queen is supporting. Now this is as good as surrender. This after this he cannot think of any only defense. He cannot have any initiative. Pawn on e3. Okay, the exchange of rooks will not help also. It will not help. Take, 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 take. And now I want you to find a plan. The question is winning. You need to find a plan. I will ask questions now. All the games I will ask questions. What should you do now? क्या करोगे? I will tell you, you need to find the weak points. What are the weak points of white? Number one, the back rank is weak. Back rank. Okay, I cannot do anything now. But notice the weak points. Okay, number two, the knight is unprotected. And this file also. This is a weak point. The knight is a weak point. The knight is so the two bishops are there. So white should black should now try to work out a plan. So he plays good move. Giving a threat idea I want to play bishop into g3 with a very nasty pawn structure. And now bishop will improve to center. One, improve. Now again good move. Why this is good move? What is the threat first of all? What is the threat is giving? The idea now with the move I am keeping a watch on the bishop. That means the knight is passive and my plan is to play h5 h4. And I'm covering up. I'm doing lot of things. This square is weak for black. So I cover that square and I'm keeping a watch on the bishop. So my threat is next move h5 h4. You cannot play on the king side. And how are you going to improve? The bishop is dominating the knight. A redundant knight. h5. Take. Now you need not take this. You can take this also. Why open line? Now I will attack. You take my knight, I will take this knight with a threat. Take. You need to defend. Only move. Only move. Knight into g3 loses a piece. Only move. It is lost. So now there is no counter play. Pawn weakness, c4, a3 weakness, back rank weakness. And the queen is entering. The queen is entering now. It is a finish. Check. And now king into pawn, then queen check will come. I want to ask you why this is not working. Can somebody tell why this is bad? Bishop g2 is not working. Why? What is wrong? Bishop g2 is not working. Yeah, this is simple. Because the end game, now you take, queen check finish. Because the both pawns 7th rank. Unable to stop queen check and another queen is coming. That means you have to take king into pawn, allow queen h4 check. That means you have to play here only king into h2. No, I don't think anything left now. All over. Mate. You will play this and now finish. So you can see The attack comes slowly and steadily, but you need to watch various open lines and attacking points. Castle. And now, pawn into pawn. Rook e8. Queen c2 or f3. Even if you play f3, I will work on the h4 point. Suppose you play, now the pawn is right down. I will work on knight coming there and knight coming. I will work on the dark squares. So you place here queen. This is the idea. The queen is now, I have taken away square. Multiple things. C6 is a multi-purpose move. One, the pawn is taking away square from the knight. Number one. Now the queen has mobility. Mobility to this point, any point. Not right now. Sometime when bishop is not there, I will go to b6. The queen has mobility. And number three, at right time I may hit this. I may do this at right time. So three things at one same point. Now I don't want maybe queen here. So go away. I don't want to stay in the line. In the heat of the complication, the problems will come all the time. I have to watch rook against queen to ensure the knight coming to c5 safely. Position is already equal plus. Black is better already. Generating play. I want to play pawn push and we can. You can't do this backward. Now what I can do? I can return. I can return the queen back again. I can return the queen. Then when the bishop and queen, this will be a target. Protection is necessary. I have to defend. No problem about it. Thanks to my pawn, the knight cannot come. All the squares, gone. Knight cannot come to b5. Next queen coming to a5. No problem, no threat. There is no danger at all. Even if you manage to give a check sometime somewhere, no problem. Next queen a5. Counterplay. I am giving a threat already. I am giving a threat. So it shows that you don't have to play on the king side all the time. You are free to take the d6 pawn and give me counterplay on a3. No problem. A3. Already a file I will open up. This is a stunt move. Basically, it is a stunt move. That if I take this, he will attack the bishop and take the knight. You are not compelled to take. So unforced moves, series of unforced moves. Are this? I think black is better. Black has got four active pieces. The queen, knight, rook. Rook will double on the D line. I guess the position already both players are in time trouble. In my opinion, simply pawn into gets a good game. Simple this move. Because now I can attack the rook. I mean enter the rook on seventh rank, but a nice position. This is very good. So instead, the position this must be a time trouble, severe time trouble, because both sides make some mistakes. So he offered a second pawn. There was no need to do this. Simply pawn into with a clearly superior position compensation. But it is I'm sure this is a game of time scramble. Oh, this is all not correct. Not correct. Anyway, he blundered. White blundered and lost. Anyway, I'll show you the blunder. Idea queen e3 check. You cannot take. Now you can. You this is bad move. Of course, this is a bad move. Queen into pawn. It is just a stunt move. If he takes, it is a mate. When queen pawn into g f3, it is a queen knight check and mate. But he will take the knight. So knight into queen into. Now he plays attack. What should black do now? White now attacking the queen. Black to play. How should black play now? Kisan Kholia says rook d2. Virabhadra says queen d1. Kisan Kholia rook g2 check. Correct. Rook g2 check. Because this is a compulsory move and this lead to checkmate. Of course, this is a blunder. This is a blunder. But this was actually, you don't have to give two pawns. One pawn with good compensation. So these are typical King's Indian ideas I am showing you. So Larson line. Now they have four square. Please note that he is watching. That means I can play knight f4 if I want. If knight f4 will help me, I can play that because I am anyway getting the d4 knight. So he plays queen d2, stopping knight f4. Provoking. I want to provoke this move. Then I will take and take e4 pawn. Then I will take bishop c3 and e4. And next I will play queen. If you are not pushing me, I will take queen, and pushing is a blunder. Bishop into c3 and then knight e4. Now the king side is weak. So next move I will play h4 and take, and then coming for sacrifice. Defend. To make sure does not get counterplay. You have to surrender the knight. Attack will come. Now after pawn into, suppose you take pawn into knight h5, then king g7, rook h8. If you take pawn, next king g7, rook h8 with attack. So he comes, take that knight. You don't have to worry. You don't have to take the pawn, helping white. You don't have to push close it. Let the tension remains. So minus plus. Even without the rooks, attack will come. Black has two bad pieces. Bishop on g2 and knight on b1 stupidly placed. The position is minus plus. Further weakening. Pawn. Even with little pieces, such positions are, believe me, much stronger than, even if I would prefer being a pawn down but not get such bad position for white. Now the bishop is dummy, dark squares. And now the queen will enter to g1. And now the check 1 or 2, then it returns. f3 attack, and I will consolidate. The knight will now join. If you exchange queen, it is practically lost ending. Practically. Because 3 to majority and a bad bishop. Lost. Threat pawn d4. Forced. Hopeless position. So, it's a typical model game, and this variation is not heavily analyzed. You can try for all this line. Kings in, I'm giving an option that you play here nd7. Here, instead of the regular move e5, you can play nd7 and take and play c6. You can do this position rook e8 or queen e7, depending. Okay, independent line. And white players are, so much mechanically they are tuned, they will not be able to solve the problem immediately on the board. Now, if you take it, white is better. This is better for white. Development factor is better. So you should not take that. Actually, theoretically, this is the correct line. This is the correct line, main line in this variation. And then black plays either knight d7 or black plays knight d7. But he decided to play knight, so I will exchange, not exchange. So e5 and now take rook. You have to play queen c2 or f3. The standard position. The idea, I am not allowing knight c5. I am not allowing the move in c5. At the moment the pawn is attacked. This is bad. Once a player compromises on the king side, he will get into trouble. Immediately, I cannot show mate. I cannot show that this is lost bad. But it is like that a table is on 4 legs. The one leg is now loose. So it will fall anytime. Now you can't play f4, you can't play g4, the g5, bad moves. So this is the point, target. Now if you push this pawn, suppose you push this is bad. I will have double attack. You will push, then I will again attack. You take, you lose a pawn, h pawn will fall. Now you defend queen d2. Suppose now I will have problem. I take, maybe I will play this take and rook f8. You will not be able to defend. I take this. Now you take this. Now rook f8. It will be very difficult. g5 is bad move. So he plays h take, and now a sacrifice should come. But you be more ready. I want to give a sacrifice on this point, on this point. But is it not a good idea to push the knight away from center? Then I will make this point weak. So knight is, that is why before sacrificing, you remove the knight from center. Pawn weakness is okay because now I am going after the white king. So he will have no time for the d6 pawn. जान जा रहा है, ये pawn को कौन पूछता है, उसका जान जा रहा है. So sack, enter. Now queen h4, queen h4. Welcome to take the bishop. Idea, next I will give knight check. I will give knight check. तो nd2, तो उसको ही अटैक करो, हिट दैट नाइट. ये अभी इधर क्या है, ही इज गिविंग सम, ये घर जल रहा है, इधर एक चेक के लिए एक्सचेंज है, इज नथिंग, जस्ट टेक इट, वट एवर यू टेक, बिशप इनटू एंड विनिंग मटेरियल, एक पीस तो जाएगा या क्वीन जाएगा, खत्म। सो ही कैनॉट टेक दैट ओनली मूव, अभी कुछ नहीं, ये क्या है अटैक, रूक क्वीन नाइट और ओपन किंग, ओपन किंग, अभी। So this is the result. This is the result of that move G4. ये player should understand. Immediately it will not happen. ये ऐसा सब पोजीशन नहीं खेलना है व्हाइट को। अभी ये G4. This is bad. G4 is bad. F4 is bad. This is bad. You cannot do anything on king side. So the idea, he plays stopping my move, but at the price the knight is no more on the king side. किंग के पास गार्ड नहीं है, ये नाइट यहाँ रहता था, कोई गार्ड रहता है, सो दिस इज नो गार्ड। खनक, देख वैद्या, हाउ आर यू? ऑल दिस इज करेक्ट। नेक्स्ट आई विल प्ले ऑन द किंग साइड, आई विल प्ले n5 ne5, you cannot do, if you do this move I will come back and e4 point is in trouble, e4 point is in trouble, okay? I showed this. I think I showed this line, not necessarily. Here, what I will get the pawn with a check. If you take now, accept it. Now, knight into. Now, whichever you take, sufficient compensation. Knight into, queen check, bishop f3, queen d4. Not necessary. Knight into is only correct. Queen d4 is not correct. Queen e4 is not correct. This is correct move. Black to play and win. Find out the plan. I will see that game. Yagupov and Ivanchuk. I will look at it now after this. Find out. No, no, no. Yagupo. Yusupov. That is same. Yusupov is same. Yusupov Ivanchuk. That is a very decisive game in Ivanchuk's career. I thought he Yagupo. This is bad now. So first you drive the knight away from center. Now if you go main idea, now suppose you go somewhere, then I will play queen h4. Suppose you go, I will play queen h4. So you have no meaning. So here he decided to give a piece. अभी एक्स्ट्रा पीस है, क्या करेगा, कुछ नहीं कर सकता, लॉस्ट, लॉस्ट। एक्चुअली आई विल टेल यू, यागुपो, आई थॉट आउट यूसुपो, यागुपो का रेटिंग था 2505 कुछ था। आई मैंने उनको इंडिया बुलाया टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए, मैं करीबन अबाउट मोर देन 100 गेम्स आई हैव कॉल्ड, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट गेम्स फॉर वेरियस टूर्नामेंट्स एज ए ऑर्गेनाइजर। सो यागुपो ने आया तो उनको अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट मिला, 4 टूर्नामेंट खेला इंडिया में, 4 टूर्नामेंट में उनका 125 रेटिंग पॉइंट चला गया, 125 रेटिंग पॉइंट। अभी मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, अभी इंडिया का प्लेयर जो है बहुत अंडररेटेड है, रेटिंग रहेगा 1900 2000, लेकिन खेलेगा 300 जैसा। अभी मैं इसमें मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, इंडिया का हेवीली अंडररेटेड प्लेयर्स है। रेटिंग रहेगा 1800, खेलेगा तो 2300, 2200, 2300 जैसा. Draw is not a bad thing, but you don't want to draw. You want to press and then you lose. So उन्होंने नेक्स्ट टाइम आया ही नहीं, बोला मेरा इतना रेटिंग चला गया, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ भाई. अभी यूसुफो वो जो आइवानचुक गेम में, it played a turning point in Ivanchuk's career. Ivanchuk and Viswanathan Anand, they were both great talent youngsters at that time, and both were coming up very fast, very very fast, tremendous rapid development, and both were great talent, both are equally strong. So Anand got eliminated in the quarter final with Karpo. Anand was winning the match. Even एक गेम में मेट इनटू मिस किया with Karpo. So he lost the match. Then Ivanchuk also lost his match with Yusufu. But in both the players are winning. So organizer of Spain said, let us make a match between Ivanchuk and Yusufu. Who is better? 8 game match. Anand beat Ivanchuk 5-3. Very interesting match. So in that, Yusupov got eliminated. I mean, Ivanchuk got eliminated by the one game. I will show you. Very interesting game. Actually, Ivanchuk was winning. Ivanchuk was actually winning. So classical. Everything is normal. White is creating some trouble on d6 point already. So white is already threatening pawn takes pawn, and d6 pawn is a serious. That means you have to do something like, oh, there is no choice. You cannot do only move. Pawn into pawn and nc5 is bad for black. If you take, then I will play knight into pawn, knight c5, then white is better. Okay. So here he decided to push. Now the pawn will be a target for white in endgame. Objectively, white is better. If you analyze the position, even if you give to machine, white is better. The queen side expansion. One trump is Yusupov was good in two things. He was good with attack and good in endgame. This is a brilliant combination. Very rare in chess players. Normally, an attacking players are not normally so good in endgame because their mind is on attack, tactics, sacrifice. So it is rare. This is a rare gift. Attack and endgame. Yusupov was good in these two. You know, there are all world champions. You can say they are good. Fischer was good in both. Kasparov was great in attack, but not great in endgame. He was good in endgame, but not great. So here, no problem. White starts an initiative. So black goes for king side. Nice move. I want to now c6 is gone. So bringing more forces. Okay. Here it takes this. Here, actually in this position, I will tell you, I want to missed certain point here. I think it's okay. All this thing, f4 is okay. I would go at a certain point. where he was clear plus and should have won. Okay, this is also okay, nothing wrong. So he is ahead in material. Knight check. Actually, in this position, that ND7 check he gave, whereas he could have played Knight C7 also. But there is a brilliant move by Black, and this is a brilliant move. Cutting off the Black bishop from the defense. Now there is no. This is the whole point. Winning the game. The idea is queen check, knight check, queen check, and knight check, rook check mate. Queen check, then takes knight check, then rook g1 mate. Anyway, he played in the game. Now this is the only move. RG8 is losing. RG8, white is better, clearly better. So again he played the correct move. Here he missed. Ivanchuk missed this move. And believe me, if he had won this with Yusupo, he was going straight to the final slowly. And would have met Kasparov. In the entire careers, Kasparov feared only one person. Kasparov really got feared to one person, that is Ivanchuk. पागल है कुछ भी करेगा कुछ भी दे देगा कुछ भी खेलेगा he was simply did not like Ivanchuk coming up and he was also afraid of Anand indirectly. Heavy material, rook and bishop down black, draw. You cannot improve the position, but he made the bad move here. He made the bad move here, re6, and this is a bad move. Too much greed from material, too much greed, और ये हार गया. Threat है. Now he is giving a threat, queen check, and then knight s2 and rook d1 mate. So अभी मेट बचता ही नहीं है. The threat is queen check. अभी रूक को लेना जरूरी है. अभी ये check, knight check. So he has to give the queen to take the rook. अभी कुछ नहीं होगा. Mate, the point, beautiful mate he put. You know the mating pattern, and this is the only move. If you come here, it's a draw. It is no more than a draw. He will come, no more than a draw. You check the king, no winning. So he found the only mating pattern, the knight. Idea, the next knight is coming. Right. And if you take bishop into knight, queen mate. The threat is knight. You cannot take the knight and you can't stop the knight. So this is a perfect mating attack. Mating pattern, I mean. So it was really a pity Ivanchuk got eliminated from a good position. And he out and Anand lost also. But in their match, Anand won 5-3. Yes, Ramakrishna, Tal had a great positional sense. No doubt about it. You know, he didn't like some dull, you know, he was a man, action man. So he didn't want to wait long time playing slowly. So he wanted action. You avoid the action, he will ready to play technical chess. He was good in technique also. Yes, Tal was editor of the Riga magazine. Tal was editor of the chess magazine. So he wrote some articles also. Okay, I go to the next. Let me finish this game, then I'll go to the main line in the afternoon session. So, now he is pushing the pawn. Otherwise, I showed you. In this case, you play a5. Did I show this? No, I have not showed this. The better move, it is better to go back. This is the more modern treatment. In this case, the black will play h5. Idea, if you play s3, knight is not blocking the pawn. So if you play bishop there, black's correct answer h5 and come back and start rolling. No pawn is blocked. It is a fielder strategy. We'll keep on advancing. However, I think the position white stands little better here. Okay, so here idea a3 b4, preparing for a3 b4 plan of white. Knight. And the king side, black king, white king side is having problem now. How should black play? Please find out the position is good. What should black do now? Okay, bye Ramakrishna. How should black play now? We observe already black has created some target. H5. H5. This is an important target. One. And then the A file. So I want to open up the game at right time. I want to play F5, F4, but everything has a timing. At the moment knight is attacked, what should you do now? So he plays knight. Time. You go away from G4 point. Now F4 is coming. You have to take it. No choice. Pawn F4 is killing. The position is bad. Now, how to regroup? We have to prepare. Our pieces should come on the H line. One, the king. So here, maybe you regroup the pieces. Regrouping. The bishop is the one should come to join the attack. Bishop. Idea BD3 and get rid of this bishop. After that is all over. The main guard of black's castle position. Take the bishop. Now we should find a way for the knight. We should find a way for the knight. So vacate that square. Rook should double. Rook should double. Make a square. This is all very easy. Double. There is no time to move the bishop. This bishop cannot move. Idea, now a serious threat is coming. Made threat. One move made threat. Now he wants to run away. He wants to run away. So make use of the rook now. Once again made threat. It is gone. So forced. Cannot take. Rook d3, rook check will win the queen. Check. Rook into rook. And after queen into queen e3, unstoppable. He will lose the endgame quickly. After queen takes, rook check will finish the queen itself. This is unstoppable. So what we learn from the positions that if you weaken the king position, it turns out bad, like g4. No, 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 not at this point. Okay, this is a good game. Let me show another 3 4 games. I'll have to finish this. What is the question? Suresh Bhai Chawda, Rook A3, Rook A3, Rook A2. You mean Rook A2? Temporarily, I am giving this. Now, if you take, I will take the D4 knight, and my threat is to play queen here. So a maneuver, you need to keep a watch. Now queen into bishop D4 is good. You have to take it rather. Your little choice. Otherwise, you weaken, it is bad. I will come knight E5 or knight F6 back again. This is the problem is when you play here, I will play knight. And now when you play, I am going to play knight. And you cannot do. Suppose you play something like, let us say, uh, B4. Imagine, idea queen B3. I will play knight. Lot of problems will come. And you can't play G3 later on. So, to make a move on the king side is bad. That means you have to take it. Take. This exchange is good for black. This is bad. You lose, bishop takes, C3 will come. Now, if you take everything, suppose rook B1 is a weak point. You take, I take, you take, then bishop F5 picks up the rook. Material up. So, you cannot take. A typical tactics, you need to keep a watch on this. अभी गया ये. अभी the position is strategically lost, also tactically lost. Why you want to play queen f5? I must tell you why you want to play queen f5. You will see the point after queen f5. He comes here and now queen check. Now this is the point. If the bishop was not under attack, now I am giving a threat. That means you don't have time. You have to move the queen bishop only. So I am gaining time. This gives me time. You understand? Minus plus. Two pieces are just doing nothing here. एक एक करके सब जाएगा. Okay, the threat is bishop. The threat is bishop here and winning. My threat is bishop. So only move. Khatam. Multiple threat. Rook attack, queen attack by fork. So typical. I leave this setup now. I think one or two more games I'll show on this. Now sometimes the end game. White is Indian woman grandmaster Dronamali Harika, and black is same Okopian. Okopian basically is Armenian grandmaster, but he I think settled in Istanbul, Turk. Uh, you know, Turkey became a coach and he represented Turkey. Mikhail Gurevich in Belgium. There are Bologan in Qatar. They are all scattered. All top Russian grandmaster have become coach all around the world. So this is very normal. S3 line because white wants to avoid this BG4. Knight F3 BG4 is not pleasant, so avoid it. But when you play H3, white cannot count on an opening advantage. It is a preventive move and a weakness on the king side. Active move. On pawn takes pawn, queen a5. Suppose you take, like in Austrian attack, park defense, queen a5. Now into e4. So this will give a good game. You play some bishop d3. I will take queen into pawn, knight f3, knight c6. Somewhat type dragon type. Now if you go here, bishop queen a5. Black structure is superior than white, and the move is actually unnecessary. So this is not a great move. C5. So he plays D5. Active move. Grandmaster want activity. A Benoni structure when that S3 is not a good move now. Tension. Bishop has become bad now. A bad piece. That means strategically the white has only one plan now. He has to play rook b1, a3, and then b4. This is and then open the position. And what I will do, I will not move the knight. In such situation, you may come. I will play knight into pawn. I will do all development. Knight h5, f5, king h8, and rook b8. I will prepare. Now rook e1, I think strategically only is not correct. Because rook is the right place to open up. Rook should be in an open file or a file to be about to open. Rook must be in open file. For example, f4 can open a file. So rook b1 and b4 can open a file. So rook e1, it is a mechanical and a bad move. I would give this move a question mark. Not correct strategically. I told you this bishop is now Taras formula. Another weakness on king side. Settled. Now black has no bad piece. See, this is the only bad piece of in the black camp. This is the only bad piece. This bishop is better than the counterpart. अभी ये bishop good है, but now poorly placed. This is good bishop. Bishop should have been here. When I play f6, white should return now. Now this is bad. Minus plus. The position, all white pieces are not good. Bad king side. Welcome. You go ahead. If you take bishop into bishop, I will take this way and I will get a square for my knight. I will regroup my knight, rook, and you cannot do anything. So, king, very beautiful play. You take pawn into pawn, I will play rook h7 and knight b7 and take that pawn with attack. In the attack, black has already all these pieces are combining, all this in attack. Whereas the king is a target and left with a bad bishop. Very easy play now. I can go for the pawn, but ये तो this pawn is our pawn anyway. तो उसको क्यों मारना है? अभी दूसरा फ्रंट ओपन करो. ये तो मरा हुआ आदमी है. Open a second front. Knight f6. I don't want to play knight into pawn. I want the bishop to come quickly. Knight f6. This is terrible. All now the rook will join. The whole army is against the king. All pieces are excellent. You take. Why should I take? हो गया. एक एक करके सब जाएगा अभी. अब S3 point 1 2. I am watching this queen and again attacking. You cannot take that. That is losing. After pawn takes pawn RG5. If pawn into G4 RG5. There. Abhi the rook against the king, and this point, all this is working now, finishing the game. This is also a target. नहीं बचेगा, कुछ भी नहीं चांस है. मारना पड़ेगा. ओके, नहीं मारा तो ही गया. So, hello, yes. So what happened? The mistake by white, I will tell you. here, here at this moment, okay, this voice, this is not a mistake, not a mistake. Now knight. Now at this moment, black has now made some move. Here you must play immediately RB1. Now the position, if one mistake has been done, but that is not so serious. Play RB1. Now black will play knight e8 and now play a3. Then he will play f5. Still no, f5 cannot be done. The knight is coming. So he has to play move like h6. Prepare f5. Then b4. This is a good position. Now I will create target. I will come knight here. I will generating play. Bishop e3. So you have to open a front. Otherwise just one sided. सो ये जो गलती हुआ है अभी कैसल हुआ है दिस इज ए सेकंड बैड नाउ यू मस्ट कम बैक one mistake now another you come back this is how you should play but again this is mistake okay I leave this comparatively white has got some more life in the position I would say that white position is superior than black now objectively white is little better maybe here instead of this move it was better to play bishop e3 now if you play f5 then f3 and you play there is no attack you need the white square bishop he black will be missing a c8 bishop for attack here the pieces are more ready for a queenside action rc1 a3 then b4 or whatever but instead of that nicer I think he's a coach now another bad move you need not play that stupid move there is no attack coming why weaken the position I mean, meaningless move. At the moment, black is doing what white is doing what black wants. तो सेटिंग है क्या लगता है ये गया है all these things it makes no sense that black is playing white has not given a single threat in the game now king side is compromised I guess I will leave this line one more game one more two more game pressure on e4 normally a knight should stay normally a knight should stay in the center. This is the correct approach against King's Indian. Now, this is not the because ultimately the bishop is not putting any kind of pressure. Yet another bad move. Very nice. Benoni type. Now he's setting right and ready to start with f5, f4. So he wants to now take positional plus. Black has got a color complex, advantage of color complex. Exchanging that is bad. After bishop into, queen into, pawn b3, and now he will start action with g4. b2 attacked. Okay, If you support pawn b3, it is also not working well for him. Again black squares. Look into b2 will come, b7 will come. Idea queen check and coming. हो गया काम. Now f5 will come. All three black pieces will attack. It's a bad position. So I will leave this line in concluding one more game from against Epicin, because he is a very well prepared and very strong theoretically, nice top grandmaster. He was very young at that time. Still, so he goes for the pano. The idea is to play quick c5 and attack. I guess good or bad, he should go for pawn push, open the position. This is the correct, in the spirit of pano. This is the correct move. And now if you take pawn into pawn, I am going to play, sorry, bishop a3. Now pawn into pawn, you have got some compensation. Pawn is coming here. Why? Generating play on the queen side. Knight c4, d6 break. Now queen b3. White, you should, in the spirit of the pano, now f5, when it was played 89, I think that time it was all lot of development have taken. Geller had played this move. I guess Geller played this. Correct way to open the game. So taking is bad. And if you play knight back, now if you play knight f6, I will play f3. Because this point I must guard. This is giving a good game. Next, I will prepare nc4, queen b3. This is white stands better, I feel. So instead of playing this c5 move, instead of playing c5, he played here. This is not, it is a general random move. अभी e4 का प्रॉब्लम आना चालू हो गया. It is too late to play f3. If you play f3, then bishop check and pawn f4 is very good. So f3 is bad. Bishop check will come. Bishop d4 will come. And pawn takes pawn is bad. King's Indian players know. I have books of chess, so can you send me some books? I mean, MBK in Harika's game. Okay, I will go back to that. I will go back to Harika's game. At what point you want to ask a question? Instead of h6 a5, I will go back to the Harika's game. So here, this is now, f3 is a bad move. Bishop check is really dangerous. So he tries. This is too slow. I mean, the move a4 a5 has been pointless now. Instead of these two moves, he should have played nc4 and takes the pawn. Instead of a4 a5, pawn into pawn and nc4 nb5. So this is bad. Already black better. Already black better. Now knight f5 is coming. So you better take. अभी कम से कम ये तो मारा होता. अभी आएगा, अभी आ जाएगा, अटैक आ जाएगा. Gone position. So it transfer. You cannot play just general pushing the pawn. ये जो मूव है यहाँ पर, ये क्रिटिकल मोमेंट है. b4 खेला ठीक है. अभी आपने f5 खेला, तो ये तुरंत आपको c5 करना है. I mean, white should have played immediate c5, ignoring the pawn. You take pawn into pawn. Maybe you can take and ba3. Maybe you should take it, because if you play ba3 or c5, b6 आ जाएगा. b6 आ जाएगा. So You take the pawn, and now bishop knight into, then you can come. This is good, not bad. Black cannot prevent the break now. Knight c4 is coming, and now if you take, it is worse. No, if you play b6, this is f3 will come. It's good. All right, I leave this. Now I will go back to Harika's game. Some question was there. So at what point he says, uh, instead of h6, a5, is h6. H6 has never come. Instead of h6, your question is MBK. Instead of h6, a5. Where is h6 has come? H6 has never come. Black has never played h6 only. Direct h5 came. So where is h6? So here h5 only come. So I don't know what is the question. Maybe there's something wrong with the notation. Maybe your question has something wrong with the notation. This is plus, clear plus for black. Minus plus, I would say. Okay, so I don't see, I think some wrong notation you are suggesting. Okay, this was played in 2015 when she was already a grandmaster. So, so where is the, I do not get the question at all. No, no, he did not play. The whole point is that this is not good. I do not recommend that white player should play s3. This is just not correct. If you play s3, now c5. The idea of s3, if you castle, you will play bg5. This is one of the idea. Bishop e3 and white stands little better. This is one of the idea. So s3, you should not play avoid e5. You should play c5. Now I told you, if you play pawn takes on, queen a5 is good. Queen a5 is good move. So d5 and now castle and now e6. This is not correct. Here onwards, white started drifting in the wrong direction. Strategically not correct. So I don't know any question. What is the question you are asking? Okay, never mind. So I leave. In the afternoon session, I will deal with the main position. You know, d4, knight f6, c4, g6, and c3, bg7, e4, d6, knight f3, castle, b2, e5. Now, pawn takes pawn, I will also discuss why this is not good move, not great move. Maybe I should skip because there's hardly any problem. I don't see anything. Now, you play here, I will play. Now, you can play bishop e3, bg5, you will play knight. This should be no problem. If you play knight, I will play c6. You check. I think you can take. This is not a great position for white. And if you play other than that, any other move, exchange variation, let me not discuss. It is nothing. So I will discuss b to e5, then castle, knight c6, then e5, this one. I will discuss pano. I will discuss korchnoi and some other line white plays like some important systems that other systems also white place. I will discuss all those. Maybe 5 6 type of position. How black should deal with them. The main lines and also the main line of semis. So this is the semis and main line. These two things I will discuss in the afternoon session. Okay. For example, I will show you a system. I would say here we I will discuss this one. Now G4, a position that it is giving a hard time to King's Indian players. If you exchange, if you push, there is no attack is coming. If you push, there is no, you cannot do a pawn break. Now this is bad, and if you take it, the exchanges will take place, and white black attack is not coming. So I will discuss how to handle this position. I mean that f5 g4. This I will discuss. I will discuss knight e1 and nd3 main line. I will discuss nd2. Okay, so these are 4 5 setups I will discuss, and I will white waiting. For example, here if I knight here, and now he can play come here. He can just also wait. He can also wait and make a waiting. I will discuss all these things in the afternoon class. Then I will go to some theoretical setup for black. Correct way to play against a particular line. So thank you very much, friends, being with me. Vishal Thakkar, I cannot send books because I don't have many e-books. You know, some e-books are there, but it is difficult to send also. So you can get it from some friends. If you get mega database, this should be enough material. Mega database, you can get a copy from any friend, and it gives all classic games. Any question? Hmm. Okay. So I will see you back at 2:30 in the afternoon for the next class. तब तक सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Take care. Bye.